Good evening and welcome. You're watching Left, Right and Center with me, Sanket Upadhyay. Two stories, actually, they're related, that we are going to track right here on this show. Story number one, the Prime Minister today delivered a speech as the BJP turned 43 years old, chronicling the journey of a party which has become, or which boasts of being the world's largest party. But along with this chronicling, in his speech, there was a mention of the fall of the old political order in the country. Is he setting the tone for 2024? As he says, something as interesting as 2014 being the year when there was an end of 800 years of rule, of Badshahi. That's the word that he used. So whether it is the Mughal, whether it is the British, or even the Congress rule, he has clubbed all of them together. So that is very clearly the message from the Prime Minister for the BJP cadre in the run-up to 2024. The big question that we are asking is, can the opposition, the fact that now they are more united, they claim, negate this version that the Prime Minister has presented? That's going to be story number one. Story number two, the migration from the Congress to the BJP continues. The latest, Anil Antony, he is the son of A.K. Antony, tall Congress leader, is known as a Gandhi loyalist, and his son is now in the Bharatiya Janata Party. You see, we are calling this, and it is very, very certain, a very big HR management crisis in the Congress party. Leader after leader after leader is leaving, and then you see a very strong position which the Congress takes, but that has not stopped or prevented an exodus. Has the Congress exodus in itself become a case study in how to manage an HR crisis? Let's quickly tell you who all actually left. So on April 2023, that is only today, Anil Antony, the son of Congress veteran A.K. Antony, has just joined the BJP. In August 2022, Ghulam Nabi Azad left. Sunil Jakar left in May 2022. Kapil Sibal also in May. In May 2022, Hardik Patel also joined the BJP. If you also recall, Captain Amrinder Singh joined. Then RPN Singh has joined. The former UPA minister has joined the BJP. You then have Jitin Prasad, who's a BJP minister in the UP government, left in June 2021. Jyotiraditya Scindia in March 2020, and on the 15th of August 2015, Himanta Biswa Sarma, who's the Assam Chief Minister and also the former Congress Minister. This is only recent public memory. We can go further back in time, but we thought that it will make greater sense to talk about the exodus post-2014. How is the Congress even planning to explain this, or is their strategy to just basically call everyone who's leaving a traitor, a person who's not willing to fight the fight along with the Congress? We'll play out the comments of Mr. Anil Antony is just a short moment from now. We also know that there are great rifts within the Congress party. For instance, Ashok Gehlot versus Sachin Pilot, the power tussle between Gehlot and Pilot over the post of Rajasthan Chief Minister. Siddaramaiah versus D.K. Shiv Kumar. There's a clash between the top two Congress leaders in Karnataka over the Chief Minister's post. Right here on NDTV, both of them have given their interview and made it very clear that they want to be CM. Then Bhupesh Baghel and T.S. Singh Deo, we know that that is also a fight which is going on. And then there are many in the Congress party who are sidelined and sulking. This includes Mr. Manish Tiwari, Anand Sharma, Digvijay Singh as well as Shashi Tharoor. So how exactly is this HR management, because this is increment season, that's why we thought let's use this comparison. How is the Congress actually managing this HR crisis, and are they being able to manage it at all? That's the question that we are going to ask in just a short moment from now. But first, let's quickly listen in to what the Prime Minister said in his speech today.
आज भाजपा देश में एक नए पॉलिटिकल कल्चर का भी नेतृत्व कर रही है। कांग्रेस और उनके जैसी पार्टियों का कल्चर, उन पार्टियों की पहचान क्या है? ये उन्हीं के कल्चर में से पैदा हुई है। उन पार्टियों की पहचान है पार्टी का नाम लेते ही एक ही बात दिखती है, सारी पार्टियों का दर देख लीजिए, परिवारवाद, वंशवाद, जातिवाद और क्षेत्रवाद का बंधक है ये सारे लोग। जबकि भाजपा का पॉलिटिकल कल्चर प्रत्येक देशवासी को साथ लेकर चलने का है। 2014 में भारत के लोगों ने भारत के पुनर्जागरण की नई यात्रा का शंखनाद कर दिया है। 800 साल से ज्यादा की गुलामी से बाहर निकलकर एक राष्ट्र अब अपना खोया हुआ गौरव पाने के लिए फिर से उठ खड़ा हुआ है। और इस प्रक्रिया में दशकों से चली आ रही बुराइयां, चुनौतियां धीरे धीरे कमजोर पड़ती जा रही है। पहले कार्यकाल में ही बादशाही मानसिकता वाले इन लोगों ने इन शोषितों, वंचितों, दलितों, पिछड़ों कोई मौका नहीं छोड़ा उनकी मजाक उड़ाने में कि 2024 में भाजपा को कोई नहीं हरा सकता। ये बात सही भी है, लेकिन हमें एक भाजपा कार्यकर्ता के नाते इस देश के हर नागरिक का दिल जीतना है। हमें चुनाव जीतने तक सीमित नहीं रहना है, कोटि कोटि जनों के दिलों को जीतना, ये हमारा मकसद है। इतने हताश, इतने निराश हो चुके हैं कि अब एक ही रास्ता उनको दिख रहा है, एक ही उपाय दिख रहा है, और वो खुल करके कहने लगे हैं, मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी। वो कब्र खोदने की धमकी देने लगे। बादशाही मानसिकता वाले इन लोगों को, इन पार्टियों को एक बात पता नहीं है, आज देश का गरीब, देश का सामान्य मानवी, देश का युवा, देश की माताएं, बहनें, बेटियां, दलित, पीड़ित, शोषित, वंचित, आदिवासी, हर कोई भाजपा के कमल को खिलाने के लिए, भाजपा के कमल की रक्षा करने के लिए वो ढाल बनकर के खड़ा हुआ है।
All right, joining us right now on the first discussion, Mr. R.P. Singh, spokesperson of the BJP. Tavleen Singh is a senior journalist and columnist. Vinod Agnihotri, consulting editor, Amar Ujala. Nalini Singh, senior journalist. Manikam Tagore, Lok Sabha MP of the Congress Party. And Dr. Geeta Bhatt, political analyst. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Manikam Tagore, I want to begin with you first and want to know your impressions of the Prime Minister's speech. In one breath, he did read out all of his achievements of this government. But at the same time, he also called the Mughal Raj, the British rule and the Congress rule in this country as Badshahi. That post 2014 things have changed.
The Prime Minister Modi forgets that he includes Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government also in that whatever Raj he has called it. He has to clarify that thing. Because he is confused guy, and Prime Minister Modi has got into the habit of speaking about historical fact with full falsehood and lies. And again, this is the example here. And he thinks that India has started in 2014 only. This is the problem with Prime Minister Modi, and he is unable to understand the democratical structure in India itself, and he wants to live in a place where he is the only person who is being prized, and they are able to manipulate all other things through a divisive election campaign and others. For Congress Party, we reject that argument of Mr. Modi, and we think that India is a country which is being growing for the past 75 years. Everybody's contribution has to be appreciated. And we appreciate Mr. Vajpayee's government's achievement also. Mr. Morarji Desai's rule was there. Mr. VP Singh's rule was there. All these things, BJP friends who had been Bharatiya Janata Sangh or Janata Party, whatever names you call them, they had been part of it. But this is the problem with Mr. Narendra Modi. He feels that everything starts from 2014, and he thinks that everything is happening after 2014 only. India has moved faster in these 70 years, and these 9 years India's wealth has been handed over to only one person called Mr. Adani. 9 years this government, Mr. Modi, is working towards Adani being richer from 20,000 crores to 14 lakh crores worth. Man, they had made it in 9 years. We are very clear, the opposition parties are very clear that this government is a corrupt government, and this session we are able to push this into the main agenda, the corruption part into it.
Okay,
and
now that's an interesting point that you make.
Serious challenge.
Because you see, the Prime Minister talks about how the BJP must not be complacent. They're very assured that they're going to win 2024. At the same time, they should not be complacent. Mr. Tagore, do you think that the opposition has it in them, this united opposition? You say that you're putting up a united front now, post the disqualification. Do you think that you've been able to take this message across to the people? Can you fight this narrative of the BJP on the ground?
In the parliament, for the past 7 days, for the past 1 month, if you can see it, for the past 15 days, we are able to make that argument in a very big way, and we will take to the people. And because opposition parties are working together, or Congress President Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has been working overnight to reach out to the party leaders, to bring them on a common ground on the Adani scam, and after that with the attack on the democratic process in India.
Okay.
Before there is a process, we are able to take the like-minded parties out of parliament.
Tavleen Singh, I want to come to you now. Narrative for narrative is the point that is being made here. When the Prime Minister says in his speech today that 800 years of Badshahi, 800 years of rule in this country, which was very alien to the way this country was, he includes the Congress rule also in it. How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, it's a bit of a reckless comment and may not go in his favor. But the fact is that the Congress party has no narrative. And, so he started his election campaign. Our cities are being carpet bombed at the moment with posters of G20 and how, India is already the Vishwa Guru and deciding not just Indian policy, but, the policy of the world. So that is his message. And so far, there is no indication that the Congress party has been able to counter it, because what they go on about is him. So actually, they are campaigning for Modi negatively, which helps him. And he's already campaigning for himself. So, the Congress party has to find something beyond the corruption charge, because it didn't work with Rafale, and it didn't work with the, what was the other one that they had? But, it hasn't worked. So, you would imagine that they would have learned by now that the Adani thing, the Prime Minister does not have to answer that. Let them, let the Supreme Court work that out. And all that they are going on about is that on the ground, I don't see that working at all.
Nalini Singh as well as Mr. Vinod Agnihotri, what is your impression? Because you see 43 years on, you do see electorally the rise of the BJP and in terms of numbers, of course, the fall of the Congress party. I mean, where the Congress was in the 80s and then how it has steadily been in a state of decline. So, Nalini Singh, to you first, and then Mr. Agnihotri.
Sanket, thanks. I would say that today being Hanuman Jayanti, and I think the Prime Minister also brought that in, Hanumanji was a very gambhir, very kind of sober. The one characteristic which is associated with him is sobriety and also great humility. And I think he actually was also taken to be a very truthful person. So when we are talking about Badshahi and almost wishing to obliterate the last 1,000 years, it might be a good thing for the BJP and its leadership which is at its pinnacle just now, to remember that these 800 years or 1,000 years have not gone in a linear fashion. Many of the people that are in the BJP today, for instance, we will have to talk about how non-linear their own trajectory has been. Jyotiraditya Scindia has tweeted apparently today, and he has talked about a history of 500 years where the Scindias and the Gwaliors, etc., had always done things in favor of Bharatvarsh, of India. But let me just take him back to, or take the BJP back, because Jyotiraditya Scindia is an important minister. Anyway, he's a showpiece minister also, that only to 47 years. What happened when the emergency was declared? With great respect for his extremely accomplished late father, they went away to Nepal and from there to England. And they were actually in the family of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Jansangh at that time, etc. And when he came back, he resigned from what was then the BJP nucleus and joined the Congress party. So I would say that these are not linear trajectories. And the Prime Minister is probably showing his impatience with the way we have been, which is a feudal culture, which of course is to be commended, that we don't want to remain there, but to actually, want to say that all this is something which is confined to one part of the leadership or the rulers or the cruel rulers or the alien rulers. I think it is not something which Hanumanji would appreciate in terms of truthfulness.
Sure. RP Singh, I believe, is now back with us. Mr. Singh, my question to you was, when the Prime Minister says that this is 800 years of Badshahi, yes, he does criticize the Mughal Raj. He then criticizes the British Raj. And then even, subsequent independent India governments. And as Mr. Manikam Tagore is saying, perhaps his own of Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, as if nothing happened before 2014.
Well, when the Prime Minister refers to Badshahi, it doesn't mean that he's negating what has been done in this 800 years. Yes, but the rule of the dynasty, that's the question. Whether it was Mughal, whether it was Britishers, and whether it was Congress party, in between, yes, Atalji was there. But overall, the majority of the time, it was the dynasty which has governed this country, and then the dynasty has decided how will they run the country, or how will they do what they want to do about the dynasty also. And whether it was Mughals or Britishers later on, or whether the Congress, they also were worried that how Nehruji ensured that how Indira Gandhi should be there, or Indira Gandhi ensured that how Rajiv Gandhi or Sanjay Gandhi initially, and then Rajiv Gandhi, or how Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. So the concern is about the dynastic part, not about that whether in last 70 years the governments have done something or not. I mean, obviously, each Prime Minister has performed, each Prime Minister has done whatever they could have done in given circumstances. But yes, it was a dynastic mindset, and an objective was to put their dynasty first and then the country later on. I mean, that was the objective. Secondly, I mean, I am shocked to hear your panelists talking about that Hanumanji will talk about truth. I mean, where did this Hanumanji factor came in? I mean, and how many of the congressmen really believe in Hanumanji or Ramji for that regard? I mean, first to start with. So, and the way it's been presented, that Prime Minister probably had lied to the people that it was a dynastic rule from last 800 years. I mean, what is wrong in it? I mean, that's the truth of the day. We all know that it has been the dynasty which has been ruling the country in last 70 years also.
Okay, Mr. Vinod Agnihotri, your views.
Actually, our Prime Minister is very much expert in building the narratives, political narrative. And this is a new narrative. I think he is trying to make an issue in 1924 election. Family politics is the main issue for BJP against the opposition gathering on Adani issue, on Loktantra Bachao, Samvidhan Bachao. So that's why Prime Minister has narrated that before 2014 there was a Badshahi era. But there are some factual errors in that. Morarji Desai government was not the Badshahi era. Atalji government was not the Badshahi era. Shastri Ji's government was not the Badshahi era. And what do you call about the Manmohan Singh and Narasimha Rao government? Was the Narasimha Rao government was the Badshahi era? No, that was not the Badshahi era, because Sonia Gandhi was very much annoyed with that government, and there was no control of the Sonia Gandhi on Narasimha Rao government. Manmohan Singh government was, yes, there was a control of the Janpat in Manmohan Singh government, but that was not the family rule. There was,
but you know, Mr. Agnihotri, do you think that, say, obviously, I think what you're suggesting is that the Prime Minister chose to do some broad stroking here, right? He broad stroked things into saying that, you know, this is what we feel is the... But the point is, obviously a narrative has been built. And as Mr. R.P. Singh would like us to believe, samajhne wale samajh gaye. So do you feel that the opposition's narrative that Mr. Manikam Tagore was talking about, taking these issues to the people, can a united opposition's issue have greater weightage over what the BJP is doing? Or is this very clear that one machinery which was already super powerful, the Prime Minister has asked the machinery to be turbocharged now for the next 1 year? Mr. Agnihotri.
Question to me?
Yes, to you, sir.
Okay. In fact, you see, Prime Minister is the sole campaigner of the BJP. He is the face of the BJP. What he said, that is the key word for every BJP worker to go on the ground and convey to the masses. Now he has set a narrative regarding Badshahi and family rule. You remember in 2014 election campaign, what was the narrative? That was Shahzada. The Shahzada, it termed about Rahul Gandhi. Shahzada and Jijaji. And that narrative goes among the masses. That went out in the entire Shahzada. Now he has coined a term Badshahi. BJP worker will take this narrative and go to the ground level, and entire BJP campaign will focus on the Badshahi rule after 1947. But in my views, this narrative by this narrative, BJP is trying to ridicule the public mandate given by the previous governments, because all the governments were elected governments. There was no Badshahi rule. Whether it was Congress government, whether it was non-Congress government, they came with the mandate of the people, with the vote of the people. So I think terming them the Badshahi rule, I think it is not in a good democratic spirit.
Okay. Professor Bhatt,
Can I make a small
would you like to tell us what your views are? Yes, Mr. R.P. Singh, I'll come to you. First Professor Bhatt, then Mr. Manikam Tagore.
Yeah, Sanketji, in 2014, when Mr. Narendra Modi's government had come, at that time, the Guardian, the British newspaper, it had run an article on the victory of the Narendra Modi government. And in this article, what was written was that the British have finally left India. So which in itself basically was an indication of the, nationalist dynamism in the incumbent leader. And also over the years, what is important and to which we can't shy away, and to which I think when the Prime Minister had used the word Badshahi, what he meant was that basically no one can deny that dynasty has long dominated the political ecosystem of this country, and along with this there has been a very deadly mix of nepotism, a feudal mindset, sycophancy and corruption together. It fostered a culture which had created, pockets of power of individuals and very family-centric, dominance in the political parties. And they have been running like enterprises. So, and there has been an absolute ideological, there has been no ideological adherence in the opposition parties. And so this hole in democracy, it is this which the Prime Minister was referring to, this hole in democracy. And this is something which we all have to, we see, you look at all the regional parties around us, either it is being, totally dominated by, it is the creation and the party exists because of an individual or because of a family. The whole control of the party is in the hands of one particular family.
Professor Bhatt, if you allow me, you see, you say that, this is a case or a comparison between ideology on one hand and vichardhara hinta, the fact that there is no ideology which is binding the opposition together on the other, right? But how do you explain, the exodus and the welcoming that you do of many of these opposition leaders in the BJP? Where does the ideology go there? And secondly, many people from the BJP, for instance, let me give you an example of Karnataka. As many as 4 people have gone to the BJP, have gone to the Congress. They were with the BJP. So where is ideology here?
See, there are these are individuals who are a part of a political party. They could be in Congress, they could be in BJP, but the principles on which the party sets its manifesto, on which the governments work, that is what reflects on the ideological adherence.
Okay.
And that is very well reflected in the various schemes which the government follows. How you want to get rooted. For example, very small Padma Awards before 2014. Had anyone heard of ordinary people who are doing extraordinary work ever been recognized in Padma Awards? It's a very small example, but you just see the change. It has brought you look at that.
It's not like ordinary people did not get Padma Awards earlier. I mean...
No, I mean to say...
That list will be long. I know what you are suggesting. I know that it had become a preserve of the power corridor. That's an allegation which the BJP has made in the past. But Mr. R.P. Singh, before I come to Mr. Manikam Tagore, Mr. R.P. Singh, it's interesting that I note that the criticism of the Congress is often done by the Prime Minister and the BJP by using Urdu words, like Shehzada, Badshahi. Or am I reading too much?
Well, you can read what you want to, but as for Padma Award goes, I mean, they were up on sale. I mean, the recent instance of where painting was sold and then was given assurance of Padma Award. So we all know, and then it has been referred in the Financial Action Task Force also. But that point aside, you remember March 2013, the Badshai tore away what was passed by the Parliament and said, we don't accept this. I mean, Parliament, the ordinance by the Parliament was torn in public domain by Badshai. There's the difference. That's what I'm saying. There's the difference between the Badshai and the democracies. So when the dynasty thinks they are bigger than the democracy, like recently when the court ruling came against Rahul Gandhi, they said, court is wrong. I mean, and court is biased. How can court do this? Their leader said, how can court, their leader Pramod Tiwari said, how can court give a verdict against a dynasty? He's on record saying so. So this is Badshai. This is a difference between democratic parties which work in the democratic system, and parties which work as per Badshai.
Am I assuming, Mr. Singh, that you're going to take this word to the people? That you're going to take this is going to be a part of your messaging, as the Prime Minister has said on Instagram, Reels, Twitter, YouTube? I mean, he's pretty much given you homework.
So no, the Instagram, YouTube and social media is a different context he mentioned in, and that was in context that the youth and the new generation works more on these mediums, social mediums, and we should reach out to them on these social mediums also.
Okay.
That was the objective.
Okay, Manikam Tagore, just quickly coming back to that question one more time. Do you feel, Mr. Manikam Tagore, that your narrative, your questions, your issues can reach the people more than what the BJP is planning to do? You just heard in his speech today, the Prime Minister very clear, I mean, as if their communication was not enough already, he has spelt it out to the BJP teams on the other mediums where the BJP must reach out to other constituencies. How do you plan to match this?
the main thing is that the traditional channel of communications all are blocked by BJP, and Mr. Modi is, it all operates through Mr. Modi. For example, Sansad TV for the first time was giving live about the party's foundation day. It has never happened. They don't give foundation days program of Congress party or Aam Aadmi or Communist party or some other parties. For BJP, what is that special? Therefore, all the government institutions are standing with BJP one side, and those people who are business-oriented channels, all channels and medium of communication, newspapers are all controlled by Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. And we as opposition parties are trying to reach out to the people with parallel medium and channels which are neutral to our, who are taking our voices there. Therefore, this is going to be a very important thing, that the propaganda machinery of RSS and BJP and Mr. Modi, they are trained from that propaganda machinery.
You know, Mr. Manikam
For
Tagore, it's a
Congress
very
party,
interesting thing that you mentioned, and as you are speaking, I am in the YouTube page of Sansad TV, and I do see Prime Minister Modi's address on the BJP Foundation Day on the 6th of April 2023 as part of Sansad TV. So to that extent, what you're telling us is a fact. But then there is another video, one moment, I'll come to you. But there is another video.
The second time you have done this.
I will come to you, Mr. RP Singh, I will at least let me make my point. I'll come to you. You will get a right to reply. I promise. One moment before your insinuation. One moment. But right below that video, I also see another video called The Lawmakers, where it features Mr. Hasnain Masoodi. And he is not part of the BJP. So I'm just trying to understand your point,
Brother,
Mr. Manikam Tagore.
Sanket, what I am saying is a party program. That was a party program addressed by the floor leader of BJP, who happens to be the Prime Minister.
And not
what
in
I am
Parliament.
asking is some
very
simple thing. It is not a parliamentary function.
RP Singh's right to reply,
It is a party
and then
function.
Ms. Tavleen Singh. RP Singh's right to reply. I promised you, I'll give you a right to reply. Please go.
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that they don't have faith in you. In a press conference, Rahul Gandhi says that you were, a person who has been was on beat of Congress from last 15 years. He pointed and said, you bear a badge of BJP. And to another journalist, he said, you answered lot many times on our behalf also. So the problem is that the Dinas don't believe in institutions. They don't have faith in media, they don't have faith in parliament, they don't have faith in Supreme Court. Recently, Mr. Jairam Ramesh said...
Are Baba, you answer about Sansad TV, you know.
Can I ensure, please, I never interrupted you. Did I interrupt you?
But Mr. Singh, the right to reply is for the Sansad TV.
Sir, please, man.
Party program on Sansad TV, that's the question. Your reply. All ears.
So, the Jairam Ramesh said that we know what will be the outcome of the Supreme Court committee also. So when the army chief says that not an inch of land has been occupied by China, they say no, he's a liar, वो सड़क छाप है, उसको पता ही नहीं. This is the faith. And election commission, they after winning Himachal, they say, EVM में गड़बड़ है, there's something wrong with the EVM. They don't have faith in
Okay,
elections.
Mr. RP Singh, on 2 occasions I gave you time for your right to reply on this comment on Sansad TV. So you cannot blame me for not giving you time. Tavleen Singh and then Nalini Singh, one by one, please. Your intervention.
Okay, I want to just make 2 points. One is that the Congress party, when it was in power, was in total control of television. There were very few private channels, and it used to be called All Indira Radio at one point, because every movement that was made by the Congress party Prime Minister was covered, wall-to-wall coverage. And opposition leaders very rarely got a chance to even appear. The other point I want to make is that for the Congress party to, they must stop whining and rediscover what they stand for. There is in India a need for a party that stands against the ideology of the BJP. But the Congress party has forgotten that it used to be that party. So, instead of standing up for secularism, for liberal democracy, for all those things that are important to people, important to India, instead of standing up against the rewriting of history. All we get is, social media is controlled and, Modi is doing this and Modi is doing that. This is not how you're going to win the next election, my friend, not at all.
Mr. Tagore's right to reply, and then Ms. Nalini Singh.
With great respect to her, I like to say the thing that the question was to me was that how the propaganda of Mr. Modi you are going to counter it. Therefore, I told that thing that the television and all other medium of communication has been controlled by them, and we are on the route. Therefore, only Bharat Jodo Yatra was there. Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji made the point that we will go to the people directly to have a conversation with them.
Okay.
Therefore, because the institutions are being
About
captured
what?
and we are not having our voices are not here in the ground. Therefore, only we are going to the ground. Now Parliament is over. Now you see, we will be going to the people. We stand for an India for all, madam. We stand for an India where Gandhiji, what Gandhiji wanted for an India. We stand for every Indian. We don't discriminate on language, money,
Is that message getting
religion,
through?
all these kind of things.
Is that message getting through? I don't think it is.
That medium, ma'am, that is the thing I'm saying to you. The
Well,
medium of
45
communication
crore
is blocked. We are not being given that medium.
Are they open with? Are they being distinguished between Muslims and Hindus? Or when the roof is given, is it distinguished between Hindus and Muslims? Or when the Kisan Samman Nidhi goes, it goes into only Hindu bank accounts. Or when the Ayushman Bharat goes, it is only for
Okay.
Hindus.
I'm completely running out of time on this discussion, but very quickly, short interjections, Ms. Nalini Singh and then Mr. Agnihotri.
Yeah, very, very short, Sanket. I want to go back to Badshahi. We'll certainly not enter this, the confusion between the political parties. But, Badshahi actually meant centralization, that there would be one Badshah and there would then be his courtiers, and then it would go down in concentric circles and in hierarchies. Now, the present dispensation should be forewarned, because there is centralization in the PMO is what is becoming common knowledge or a common allegation. So I think that is something which very quickly will
Okay, so
turn
where
into
does the
another
Badshahi
kind
lie?
of Badshahi.
Basis
I think
of
that's the point that Ms.
hearsay,
Nalini
you
Singh
cook up
was mentioning.
stories on basis of hearsays.
Okay, Mr. Agnihotri, last comment.
Actually, Badshahi, when PM said Badshahi, that refers to the family politics. But that is a dilemma of the Indian politics, that every party has the family politics. Congress is ruled by the one family for last 20 years. But even BJP is fighting in the Karnataka. Vasavaraj Bommai is the son of S.R. Bommai, who was the former chief minister. Then BJP cannot attack on the family politics in Karnataka.
Okay. Thank you very much. I've run out of
Who will be the
time.
next party president of BJP? Do you know that? Or who will be the next prime minister?
Okay, I'm going to have to take a short break at this moment. This discussion can go on and on, but I'll have to take a short break. Thank you very much. We're going to come back and debate something related.
Thank you.
And that is what exactly is happening in the Congress. Is this, or has the Congress party become a classic case study on how not to manage an HR crisis? Exodus after exodus. The latest, Anil Antony. Welcome back. One more day, one more person leaving the Congress party and joining the BJP. Why is this list getting longer and longer? And what exactly is the Congress party doing to address this HR management crisis? I mean, had this been a corporate system, questions would have been asked. Let's put that to a short debate. Mr. Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP, PKD Nambiar, a political analyst, supports the BJP. Today's exodus has happened in his state only. Nalini Singh, a senior journalist, joins us, and Ram Mohan Reddy, spokesperson of the Congress party. Okay, I'm going to circle back to you. Shehzad Poonawalla, as someone who was in the Congress and moved to the BJP, so he's part of the problem that I seem to be mentioning over here. Shehzad?
Sanket, under Mahatma Gandhi and Lokmanya Tilak, the party used to be like a parivar, but today the Congress party is essentially the parivar. It is a kabila, and it is a merit mukt zone. It is a democracy mukt zone, and it is a zone where there is no tolerance for any other point of view. What was Antony's cardinal sin, if I may? His only cardinal sin was that he pointed to the Congress party leadership, particularly Rahul Gandhi. They don't use that entire BBC issue to score a political point. You don't allow your national issues or your national sovereignty and other issues to be compromised at the altar of domestic issues. And that's all he said. And it was quite right on his part, because it was hypocritical of the Congress, because they banned the BBC in one point of time. And secondly, why should a third party be interfering in our domestic affairs or spewing venom and lies which is based on absolute falsehood? But for that, he was abused, insulted, and as usual, like a whole range of leaders, the Congress party showed him the way out because he was loyal to the party cause, or to the national cause, not to the parivaric cause. So unfortunately, the Congress party suffers from what I call as a problem of allowing the parivar to become the party, and therefore it is unable to accept anybody with merit or a different point of view. Anybody who puts national interest above parivar interest is shown the way out, as was I.
Nalini Singh, how do you look at this exodus? And you know, I'm looking at a problem beyond just Mr. Antony, because his father was the very same person who actually submitted a report and told the Congress what is wrong. In fact, he's reiterated the problem again. He said that you will have to reach out to the majority community in the world of perception.
Now, Sanket, contrary to what you may expect, I'm going to say that there are very talented people in the Congress party, especially at the state level, is what I notice. And that these people fall through the cracks of national TV, but that doesn't make them less talented. And I would also say that the Congress party appears to have displayed some political muscle, shall we call it, by again and again reiterating the alleged fraud of rupees 20,000 crore by the Adani Group. And also they are reiterating China's alleged ingress into Indian territory, etc. There are a few of these points that they're making, and they're saturating in whatever way they can, in whatever smaller way they can, they're doing this. But the thing is, so I would say that there is a nucleus of something political, and there is talent there. But Congress's overall strategy is unclear, it is mysterious, and it appears confused. If you just take what happened, how they reacted to the surgical strikes, how they reacted to the foundation stone laying of the Ram Mandir, how they reacted to the triple talaq, etc. And this list can be certainly increased. So what I would say is that if there is a political party with a crystal clear strategy, then you will be reacting in a manner that you take the public with you. But if you have been, somewhere you are aggressive, and then you are backsliding in a way, and then you are absent. So I would say that if the strategy is incoherent, then the leaders, and I'm calling them talented leaders. I have met these people, and it is quite a revelation. So when these talented people are actually at core, politics is a business, however much the politicians on your panel might dispute that. So if there are negative returns to the business, then they will decamp. So A, the strategy is confused. B, that there is nothing which is actually giving them positive returns. So what is new, Sanket? New in the last 3-4 years, I see. Earlier also, people used to resign from the Congress party. They resigned in a huff. But there was a decency to that. But I find that, and I'm not saying this in any chronological...
the Congress is very openly calling people traitors. That in this big fight,
But let me just, I'll just finish this. That if you look at what now they're doing, RPN Singh, Jyotiraditya, Jitin Prasad, etc., that list is long. What they now do is actually these are grudge exits. They take censor stage, all the TV channels are there, and there are grudges. I just want to mention, I'll finish in a second, that look at the way Dinesh Trivedi left the TMC. Not one harsh word against Mamata Banerjee, and neither has Mamata Banerjee uttered one harsh word against Dinesh Trivedi.
Okay.
So there is a way of doing things.
Yeah, there's a way of doing this. Ram Mohan Reddy and then Mr. PKD Nambiar, one by one. Mr. Reddy, will you not acknowledge that there is something wrong? As we are saying, there's an HR management crisis.
So actually we are in a big fight. We are in a big fight of fighting for democracy here. So people who are sailing with us and people who are leaving. See, there are two types of people who just wanted to go away from the problem, who do not want to face the real issues, save the democracy, fight for the nation, which is the great need now. Because though they want to join other parties due to their self-interest, may help them, but not this nation, right? Whatever the Congress party is taking, the stand is very clear. We are fighting for the people. Though it may be Modani, though it may be Chinese renaming of locations.
But you're okay accepting people from the BJP into your fold, as it is happening in Karnataka.
Yeah, because see, the people's mandate is important today. How it is flowing now. People's mandate is shifting from the falsehood to the truth. So we can witness that in Karnataka there.
Okay.
The fight of Congress is being recognized there in the state, and today PM Modi ji addresses and says that, Congress is not at all doing well, and 2014 they are ensuring their victory themselves. No, sorry. That assurance need to be done from the people, should be given from the people.
PKD Nambiar.
And we'll witness there in Karnataka.
PKD Nambiar, final comment. It's not like, you would know more because this is your state. It's not like you've imported some heavyweight from the Congress party. In that sense, Anil is not a strong entrant who's going to get you or fetch you votes. But what does this mean?
So Anil is a very dear friend of mine, and let me tell you that over the last 1 year plus, he was contemplating that the future of Congress. He was not considering about that the future of Anil as an individual in Congress, more than that, the future of Congress and the way the Congress is heading. And it is very clear that in my own various discussions with him, we were just discussing that how the Congress is moving, trying to be like a more of left or the liberal or extreme left in that angle. And he was a very, very concerned citizen. He was not thinking about himself, and his moving to BJP is once again an acceptance of Narendra Modi's leadership. And he is a highly educated, well-traveled person, and he is accepting the leadership of Narendra Modi and the BJP. I think it may be the right place for him, an aspirational youth, to be in a party.
You know what we're going to do?
This is not just...
we'll put this to a greater debate a little later. This is an important point. Shehzad, quick intervention, please. Running out of time. Shehzad had raised his hand. Yeah.
Mr. Reddy tried to make this about fight for democracy. Digvijay Singh has the right to say whatever he wants to about surgical strike, but AK Antony's son can't say anything about BBC documentary. So how much for democracy? And secondly, people have given their mandate in the last 3 Northeast elections. What have they said about it? And I don't think Nalini is wrong. It's not a strategic or a tactical issue. It is a fundamental issue. The issue is that a pack of lions can't be led by a mule. The problem is fundamentally that.
Okay.
You have a mule leading a pack of lions, and therefore you have to replace the mule. But unfortunately, nobody is willing to bell the cat. And I have not taken anybody's name. So I hope Mr. Reddy won't take it personally.
Okay.
No,
right.
I don't take it personally, ma'am.
Okay, sir, Mr. Reddy, I've unfortunately run out of time. But, let's hope there is no fresh exodus. But if there is, we'll put this to debate one more time. That's all the time we have in this edition of Left, Right and Centre. News continues on the other side. Stay with us.